trillion. Now, as we progress, many of you may know that by 2050, Africa will the benefits. Ghana is centrally located. Sorry, somebody is blocking it. Hi, you're blocking it. We are centrally located. Kotoka is 6 to 8 hours away from many of the major capitals in the world. And we have 2 seaports. One of the biggest in West Africa is the Tema port. There's the Takoradi port. And then they process about 3.5 million TEUs, which is, those of you in Singapore will know that that's the 20-footer container capacity measurement in our country. We have abundant resources are located or can be found in our country called Ghana. We invite you on the expedition of same. Our 4.8 million ounces of gold was produced in 2024. We have over 4.7 million hectares of arable land for agriculture, and that's different from agricultural land. We have quite a huge number of agricultural land, over 550 kilometers of coastal marine line that supports fishing and aquaculture. And we are also the world's second largest producer of cocoa, averaging about 800,000 metric tons. Over the last 3 or so years, we've been doing around 500,000, but if you combine the averages, we've gone in and around 800,000. We are rich in other mineral resources, which we'll talk about. Now, this is most important. Every business is not just about investment, but they are also looking out for the labor force that they have. So we have some of the youngest workforce in terms of our population. The average age is 21. And in the next decade, 5 million Ghanaians will join the workforce. So that's averaging about 500,000 people between the ages of 16 and 60 joining the workforce every year. And we have high literacy rates, about 79%. Ghana is also business friendly. And I want you to take note of the data that we have up there, just as an indication of the entrepreneurial nature of the Ghanaian. So between January 2020 and June 2025, close to 800,000 businesses were registered in Ghana. For a population of 33 million, that's almost 7%. So that's significant. That should show you that we have a culture of running businesses. And so we invite you that when you come into our country, the expectation is that you will partner with Ghanaians who have businesses or those that have existing businesses, because that helps into your market entry strategy. There's also guarantee against, expropriation. We are parties to the Africa Continental Free Trade, and have taken the AFCFTA protocol on investment and some of the protections. We have a double taxation agreement with Singapore. You'll see it, so that grants you some relief. And then some of the countries, we have bilateral investment treaty. So this is the Ghana-Singapore economic relations. This is Ghana's export to Singapore. The combined export between our two countries, is 215 million. That is as of 2024. And Ghana's export to Singapore amounted to 127 million. And it's mainly in cocoa products and mineral fuels and some mineral oils. And then Ghana's import from Singapore is 92.5, which is mainly machinery and some mechanical appliances. And for those of you who are aware or may not know, Singapore is actually the home to our FPSOs. This is where we build the FPSO for our oil production. Our flotation production and storage vessels for oil production were mainly done in Singapore. So whether it's the Kwame Nkrumah FPSO or it's the John Atta Mills, they were all produced here. Okay. The next slide. This is foreign direct investment. Singaporean businesses in Ghana from 1994 to June 2025. They've invested a total of $2.1 billion. And we'll make these slides available to you, so don't worry. The number of projects is 69, and the top areas are the service, agriculture, manufacturing, tourism, and others. So we are seeking to grow this base of Singaporean investment in our country. Sorry. This is a list, some list of Singaporean companies that we have. How many of you know Olam? Olam is iconic, eh? And then Wilma. All right. So I'll take you through some of the key government initiatives that His Excellency, the President, and the government of Ghana are pursuing. The number one initiative that we have is what we call the 24-hour economy. So the 24-hour economy is government's plan to transition the Ghanaian economy from the regular working cycle into a 24-hour cycle, of which we are going to be efficient and productive around the clock. Now, the goal here, if you look at the long title, is a 24-hour economy and, 24-hour economy and accelerated export development program. So our objective is to undertake series of activities that will make us, one, self-sufficient in food production, and then it will help us to export to the West African market of 400 million, and then to the larger African market of 1.4 billion people. So some of the core pillars are production transformation, supply chain and market systems efficiency, and then there's also the human capital development. I would like to inform you that if His Excellency gets here, I'm going to pause and we'll all rise to welcome him. So please just keep that in mind. He's on his way. Now, these are some of the core initiatives of the 24-hour economy. So we have the Grow 24, which is primarily about agriculture, growing our products all year round. His Excellency is almost here. So shall we please rise and welcome His Excellency the President?
Just introduce the minister also.
Okay.
I'll just introduce him.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, please give a warm welcome as we invite His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama of the Republic of Ghana. And from Singapore, we have Minister of State for Trade and Industry, Mr. Alvin Tan.
What are you guys going to do?
Sorry?
What are you guys going to do?
Our vision hinges on the introduction and implementation of a 24-hour economy, which will also be anchored in agriculture and agribusiness. This innovative approach will unlock potentials that have long remained dormant, enabling us to harness the energy and creativity of all our people. And young people, including entrepreneurs, can find opportunities regardless of traditional institutions. The 24-hour economy model will also bolster job creation for the young people, stimulate local industry, and attract foreign investments, and allow us to build resilient communities and a sustainable future. This vision extends beyond mere economic transactions, symbolizes empowerment, the empowerment of every Ghanaian to contribute to our national progress. To the business leaders and entrepreneurs, I invite you to support this new model and join me in shaping a business environment where creativity thrives and where the fruits of your investments contribute to the collective welfare of our nation. Your role in driving our economy forward cannot be overstated. Your innovation and dedication will be the backbone of our success story. And I pledge to you that we would look at the tax regime and rationalize them so that they are more transparent and fair. Members of the business community, I assure you, Ghana is open for business again. I thank you and welcome you to Ghana. And in our local parlance, I say Akwaba to all of you.
Thanks very much, Simon from Ghana Investment, for that wonderful presentation.
Changes on the introduction.
Yeah. I would now like to hand over the time to Ms. Samantha Teo, who is our Executive Director at SBF for the International Business Division. Samantha.
A very good morning to our guest of honor, His Excellency John Mahama, the President of the Republic of Ghana. Welcome. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Samantha Teo, the Executive Director overseeing the international business in the Singapore Business Federation. I will be your MC for today's SBF Ghana-Singapore Business Dialogue. My team and I are deeply privileged to have with us in this fine room distinguished members of the Ghanaian delegation. Let us warmly welcome Honorable Elizabeth Ofoso-Adjare, Minister of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry. Honorable Felix Ofoso-Kwakye, Minister of Government Communications. Her Excellency Genevieve Apollo, Ghana High Commissioner to Singapore. Mr. Simon Maji, Chief Executive Officer, Ghana Investment Promotion Center. Mr. Francis Arthur, Chief Executive Officer, Ghana Export Promotion Authority. And Ms. Kohei Hassan, Honorary Consul of the Republic of Ghana in Singapore. From Singapore, we are equally honored to welcome the Minister of State, Alvin Tan, of Trade and Industry and National Development. And Mr. Hawazi Dabi, Singapore's non-resident High Commissioner to Ghana. Mr. S.S. Teo, Chairman of the Singapore Business Federation and the Executive Chairman of the Pacific International Lines, PIL. And Mr. Srivasan, Chairman of the Africa Business Group of SBF and the Director of ARISE. And finally, I would like to extend a warm welcome to all the accompanying delegation of Ghana, business leaders, and members of the Singapore Business Federation here with us. Your strong participation reflects the importance of today's dialogue in fostering deeper business-to-business partnerships between Singapore and Ghana and exploring new opportunities for collaboration. Today, you witness that you not only have the support of the businesses, but also from the government and presidential office of Ghana. Ghana is not new to me. I've been to Ghana in 2013 to 2015. At the time, I was working for an oil and gas offshore construction company. So we were looking at the potential of acquisition of the Tema shipyard. Yeah, and I understand from Mr. Simon that many things have changed. And indeed, it should have. And today is the reason why we are here, to find out what has changed, what are the available incentives, the available opportunities and possibilities that we can have Singapore companies working with the Ghanaians. So without further ado, to begin our program, it is my privilege to invite Mr. Srivasan, the chairman of our Africa Business Group at SBF, to deliver his welcome remarks. Mr. Srivasan.
Your Excellency, President of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, honorable ministers, excellencies, distinguished guests from Ghana and Singapore, all other protocols observed. Good morning and very warm welcome for joining us in this SBF Ghana-Singapore Business Dialogue. I should say what started as a business roundtable now has expanded to a business dialogue, and that shows the interest in Ghana for the Singaporean business community. It's my honor as chairman of Africa Business Group of the Singapore Business Federation to welcome you all to this business dialogue with our Singaporean companies. Your Excellency, the Africa Business Group, or AFBG, was set up with a clear purpose to strengthen the partnership between Singaporean businesses and our counterparts across Africa and help our companies navigate the opportunities in this dynamic continent. Ghana has always been high on our list of priorities. It's not just due to its strategic position and as a host of AFCFTA Secretariat. The stability and openness of your economy and the strong bilateral relationship between our two countries are the key reason why Ghana remains to be a priority to Singaporean companies. Your Excellency, by numbers, our partnership has meaningful scale and momentum. Bilateral goods traded reached to about 294 million Singapore dollars in 2024, while the overall goods and services traded between 2022 to till date has been over Singapore dollars 640 million. Momentum is very positive. In May 2025, Ghana exported to Singapore was more than Singapore dollar 23 million dollars, which is up by 283% on a year-on-year basis. On the investment side, some of the Singaporean companies like Olam, PAL, Wilmar, and others have a direct investment of close to $500 million in Ghana, reflecting Ghana's position as a focal point for Singaporean investors. Your Excellency, you will agree with me that there is still a lot more to do in growing these investments. Over the years, SBF has always worked closely with Ghanaian partners to deepen this relationship. In November 2019, I had the privilege of leading a business mission there focusing on agri-food, agri-processing, agri-commodity sourcing, FMCG manufacturing, and ICC sectors. This mission not only introduced Singaporean companies to Ghana's fast-growing consumer market, but also laid the groundwork for the partnership that continue to develop even today. In 2021, during the pandemic, we did not stop our engagement. SBF co-organized with Enterprise Singapore and Jumia Ghana a webinar titled Capturing the West African Consumer Market Through E-Commerce, focused on Ghana. That showed us just how quickly Ghana's digital economy has evolved and how Singaporean firms can contribute by bringing expertise in fintech, e-commerce, and logistics. Right now, Ghana is in a truly exciting moment. With the AFCFTA Secretariat based right here in Accra, Ghana is not only just a part of a continental trade agreement, continental market, but a gateway for a unified market of 1.3 billion people with a combined GDP of close to $3 trillion. And that's no small thing. The rolling out of digital gateway like PAPS, the Pan-African Payment and Settlement System, is really revolutionizing for the trading companies, shippers. With such fintech disruption, what once took days to clear now happens in a matter of minutes. This has significantly helped companies in ensuring that their working capital doesn't sit idle, and it has also really positioned Accra as a regional treasury hub. Your Excellency, you had highlighted 5 key areas in your address at ASBF a couple of days back, namely supply chain infrastructure, agribusiness, regenerative agriculture, clean energy, renewable, digital fintech, advanced manufacturing. I'm happy to inform you that the companies represented here covers all these sectors. Lastly, Your Excellency, on a personal note, personally, me and my family love Ghana. We spent 3 lovely years in Ghana in mid-90s as when I was with my alma mater, Olam, as country head of Olam, Ghana. And those Ghanaian pineapples still lingering in our mouths. And you had probably the best, world's best pineapple and world's best chocolates. Thank you, Excellency.
So my sincere apologies for missing out Minister of Foreign Affairs, Honorable Samuel, in my welcome speech just now. Yeah. Let me, without further ado, invite our chairman of Singapore Business Federation, Mr. S.S. Teo, to give us a brief opening. Mr. Teo, please.
Thank you, Samantha. Your Excellency, President Mahama, Honorable Ministers and delegation from Ghana, Minister of State Mr. Alvin Tan, distinguished guests, colleagues, friends, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Mache, good morning. Mache. I hope I pronounced it right, Mache. It's a great privilege to have all of you here today, together with some of Singapore's most forward-looking companies. Many of them are already contributing to Ghana's economy, and others are here because they see Ghana as a trusted partner for the future. Today, I welcome you in my role as Chairman of SBF and also as Chairman of Pacific International PIL. On behalf of all Singapore businesses and association reps here, we express our gratitude, Mr. President, for your leadership and vision. We have seen how your government has taken bold steps to strengthen Ghana's economy, from tackling the challenges in the gold sector to restoring financial stability in the economy, in the energy market. These efforts matters to investors because they send a strong signal of confidence and commitment. At the Singapore Business Federation for International Business, our role is simple: to help our companies find opportunities abroad and to support governments like yours who are open to partnership and growth. We do it through our 4L framework, that is learn, lead generation, land, and localize. It is a framework that we believe many companies require to venture into a new country. Ghana is especially significant for us because with the AFCTA Secretariat in Accra, Ghana is not only an investment destination, it is also a gateway to Africa, 1.3 billion consumers, many young consumers. There is a tremendous advantage of every company in this room. Our companies are diverse, as Sri said, but they are also here to share the same ambition, to grow together with Ghana. They are partners for growth, and their presence here today is a sign of long-term commitment. From the Group CEO of Olam, Mr. Sri, to the CEO of Gen Zero, Mr. Derek Teo, and the Executive Director of Association of Singapore of Process Industry, Mr. Wayne Yap, they are all represented here. We represent a very wide and positive window for interest into Ghana. There are many more companies who cannot be here today because of travels and other committed schedule. But it remains that we are looking forward to hear from Your Excellency what more to expect from Ghana. We, the private sector, value clarity and predictability in the rules, where approval are timely and risk allocation is clear. So just now the 24 hours that Simon mentioned is very useful. Private companies move fast and are able to secure financing from institutions. We can provide capital, technology, and jobs, and create jobs, but we rely on government to set the stage. I now need to transit to my role as chairman of PIL. PIL has long supported West African connectivity with Asia. Our West Africa HQ of PIL now sits in Accra in Ghana, a testament of how positively we view Ghana in the region And we have been calling a Ghana port for decades, facilitating the trade growth between Asia and West Africa, especially Ghana. It served not only connecting Ghana to the global market, but also strengthened Accra's role as a maritime hub for the sub-region. I must also say that why did we locate our head office of West Africa in Ghana? It is actually the good work done by the GIPC. You have set the stage for easy ruling, and more important, actually allowing to bring in more, foreign executive to actually raise the productivity. And my company employ over hundreds Ghanaian officers on our ship, and every year we actually secure about 15 cadets that we train from Ghana. So to me, not only is a destination for investment, but it's also actually a good pool of talent that we can, get from the country. And in fact, last night on my table for dinner, I mentioned to the friends that, not only Singaporeans don't speak good French, but we can speak English. So English speaking actually is an advantage. But more important is the high level of education that the Ghanaians actually have. And I encourage all Singapore companies that when you go there, not only looking at the investment and jobs, but looking at how to harness the local talent. I want to end on a personal note. In Singapore, we have always believed that trust is the foundation of business. As sitting here today, I sense the same spirit in Ghana. Our hope is that in this dialogue, it's not only just that business deals, but about building a relationship of trust between our companies and your government and officials, one that can last for decades. On behalf of the Federation, I want to thank Mr. President, honorable ministers, for being here with us today with SBF. We look forward to building something remarkable together. Madesi. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Teo. Can I now invite the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Honorable Samuel, to give us a brief remarks. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Your Excellency President John Dramani Mahama, the President of the Republic of Ghana, Honorable Ministers of State, our very hardworking Ambassador Akpalu, the Chairman, Chief Executive of SBF, my good friend, Minister of State, the Honorable Alvin Tan, distinguished captains of industry, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, we want to express our profound appreciation to the people of Singapore. This has been a historic week, a historic year. It is the first time in the history of our country that a Ghanaian president has been invited on a state visit to Singapore. We are enormously grateful to you for the warm hospitality we have received, and it is clear to us that Ghana and Singapore are ready to chart a new path of prosperity, a new path of progress, and a new path of transformation. As President Mahama said yesterday in his bilateral discussions with the President and the Prime Minister, Singapore gives Ghana hope. Singapore gives Ghana inspiration. You have defied all the economic theories, all the theories about needing a big population to make it, needing natural resources to make it, needing a lot of people to make it. You have defied all of that. And despite your relatively small size, lack of resources, lack of water, lack of arable land for agriculture, you have defied all of those theories, and you are a transformed, progressive society. And as President Mahama said, that gives us hope. You celebrated your 60th independent anniversary this year. We will celebrate our 70th independence anniversary in 2 years' time, in 2027, and we are determined to follow your footsteps to transform our country. In President Mahama, we have a nation builder, as he's been nicknamed in Ghana. He's leading a raft of reforms. And if you have followed our macroeconomic numbers, you will have observed that since he was inaugurated on the 7th of January this year, he has stabilized the Ghanaian economy. Our cedi is now the strongest currency in the world. Ghana is no longer a bankrupt economy. We are no longer rated by the sovereign rating agencies as a country in junk status. You follow the upgrade by Fitch. We expect Moody's and Standard & Poor's to also follow. He's clearly stated right from his inauguration that Ghana is open for business again. And you saw the clip. That was a clip from his investiture. And since then, he has respected all the agreements that he inherited. There has been no appropriation. There has been no, if you like, disregard for the contracts that he came to meet. There is no nationalization going on. Of course, as part of his reforms, he's making sure that Ghanaians take ownership of our natural resources. He's negotiating in the best interests of Ghana. And that is why he pledged yesterday when he met the president and the prime minister that very soon, and he's giving us clear marching orders, that by close of year latest, Ghana and Singapore should have a BIT, and that BIT is going to happen this year. With this business investment treaty, we are expecting that we'll have more Singaporean businesses look to Ghana as the preferred destination. The other good news is that he has instructed the Foreign Ministry to establish a permanent diplomatic presence here in Singapore. So next year, we will be back here to open a consulate. We are going to have a consul general, and that will be the first fiscal presence that we will have here in Singapore. And he has invited the Singaporean government to also consider Ghana to establish your first permanent diplomatic mission in Accra, Ghana. And we have no doubt that you will consider Ghana favorably. Already we are seeing a number of your companies establish your headquarters in Ghana. Recently, we were very delighted when Enterprise Singapore decided to establish your West African headquarters in Ghana. And we thank you very, very much for looking favorably at Ghana. President Mahama wants us to prioritize economic diplomacy, and that's what we have been doing at the Foreign Ministry. Our diplomats are at your service. All our officials, the Ministry of Trade, the GIPC, our marching orders is to facilitate trade, is to make sure that you find in Ghana the preferred business destination. And you will have observed that President Mahama has been personally involved in all of the business discussions, the trade negotiations that we have been holding since he arrived here in Singapore. That is a testament of the belief, the unwavering belief he has in business and in the fact that it is only through trade. He does not believe in aid. He does not believe in handouts. He believes in trade, that it is only through trade. It is only through business-to-business arrangements that we can transform our societies. There is another alignment that I would like to speak to, and that alignment is that by 2027, Singapore will be leading the ASEAN group, and you will be the leaders on this continent in Asia. that same year in 2027, inshallah, as we say, President Mahama will also be the chairman of the African Union. So we have a lot to do now to prepare towards that. And one of the things President Mahama is passionate about is the Pan-African payment system, so that as a continent we can have one payment system. You also have the Nexus platform, with the Singapore Central Bank is spearheading. And working together with the Pan-African payment system and your central bank's Nexus platform, we can quicken the pace of doing business, facilitate that business, and make it more convenient for our businesses. Ultimately, we hope that these businesses will lead to job creation and it will lead to the transformation of our societies. So this is such a great time to strike all these partnerships, to look in the direction of Ghana, and for our businesses also to invest here in Singapore. And we want to encourage all of you to believe in the Ghanaian dream. The reforms you are seeing are no flukes. There are no flashes in the pan. These are reforms that are anchored on deep vision, on clear thinking, and by a president who has done it before, who has the experience, who has the gravitas. And so you can count on him. He is trustworthy, he is reliable, and the Ghanaian people have come to respect him as a leader who deeply cares for his country and the people that he serves. So with President Mahama as our leader, who is AU champion for African institutions, AU champion for gender, and the AU champion for reparations, if the entire African continent is relying on President Mahama, his vision, his leadership, then you know that in Ghana you can trust. So I do not want to re-echo the fact that when you invest in Ghana, you know that you are not only investing in a country that has 33 million people, you are investing in a neighborhood of 400 million West Africans, but also because we host the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, you are investing in a market that has 1.4 billion people and a combined GDP of about $3.4 trillion. So there's so much going for Ghana, which is the most stable country democratically, peacefully, and the country that you can rely on returns on your investment. We have strong rule of law, an independent judiciary, so there is no way your investment will be under threat whatsoever. So we want to really invite you to Ghana and be well assured that all of us as public officials, that is why we are doing this, that's why we are in public office, to create opportunities for our people and to transform our societies and see the dream of Kwame Nkrumah, the dream of Lee Kuan Yew established in our lifetime. And so we thank you very much for this opportunity. We are grateful to you for this massive attendance at this business forum. As has been said, we were told when we were preparing for this visit that it would be just a round table of some 10 top businesses, but it was so oversubscribed. We were told that that round table had to be abandoned so that we can meet here. And as I see at the back, the chairs are not enough. There is a spillover, and clearly we needed a bigger venue for this. And we thank all of you. We do not take this confidence you have in Ghana for granted. As we see this confidence, we see this belief in Ghana and the potential that we have, it urges us on to do more and to really create that environment that you deserve, that our people, the people we serve, deserve. And you can be assured that we will be at your service and we will always be there to make your business ideas come to fruition, and so you can get good returns on your investment. I thank you very much.
Well, indeed, this was originally intended to be a roundtable for 15 companies, but we turned it around, and since Tuesday, we decided to form a business forum, noting the amount of companies that actually showed interest in knowing Ghana a little bit better. Now, before I end, thank you. Now, before I invite the President of Ghana to give his statement, can I invite the Minister of State, Mr. Alvin Tan, for the Industry and Trade and National Development to share a few words with us.
Thank you, Samantha. I had not planned to say anything, but I really wanted to, so I hadn't prepared anything, just like Samuel, and he said it so eloquently. What Samuel had mentioned is really exceeding expectation. If today in the room we've exceeded expectations from a round table to an overflow room, a quote by Mr. Lee Kuan Yew talking about the promise of Ghana and the visionary leadership of President Nkrumah. 61 years later, 60 years later, we celebrate our 60th birthday, but 61 years later, from that historic moment between both our presidents, our Prime Minister and President, I think it's wonderful to see President John Mahama come to Singapore. So welcome, Mr. President. Many of you may not know the backstory to President Mahama's trip here. But last year, when I had the privilege to go to Accra, I was introduced to President Mahama. We had a discussion, and he was very confident. He says, when I become president, I will make changes, and I would like to come to Singapore. So, President, when we spoke last year, I said, I will make sure everything happens for you to make your first state visit to Singapore. And this is the kind of commitment, and it's not just a commitment, but the execution to make this a reality. Thank you, Mr. President. In addition to this, we have, as Minister Samuel mentioned, exceeded expectations on a few fronts, and we will continue to want to exceed expectations. What have we done? We have already an avoidance of double taxation agreement. We have signed and now are implementing the carbon credits Article 6 implementation agreement. So Gen Zero is here, Derek, and I led a delegation there last year. We are, thank you very much, President and Minister, working very hard on the bilateral investment treaty. It will help many of you to look at Ghana with fresh eyes, as President will mention earlier on, but also confidence to invest in this new Ghana. And our work is not done. Our work cannot be done. When I was in Accra, I also visited Wamkale Nene, who is Secretary General of AFC-FTA. And it is also because the Secretary General is also there, it also lends to the importance of Ghana, that the African Continental Free Trade Agreement Secretariat is there. And as President and Minister mentioned, we have already landed our Enterprise Singapore office. Jean has been there. She has been a wonderful advocate for us. And we see Ghana, as we have discussed, that the potential for you to be the gateway, not just to West Africa, not just to ECOWAS, but also for Singaporean and Asian investments through to Africa. We look forward to that. And in 2027, as Minister mentioned, we want to exceed expectations again because, President, you will be chair of AU, we will be chair of ASEAN, and we must raise the ambition, we must raise the expectation, and we must land on this execution. So please work with us. Both our governments are in line and aligned, and I think both our businesses and our business community are looking forward to bridge this new dawn for Singapore and Ghana relationships. Thank you very much.
Without further ado, can I invite the President of Ghana, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, to share with us a few words. President, please.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you, Alvin, for those kind words. Like you said, he made all this happen after we met in Accra last year. And I'm pleased that it's my first state visit since I became president. And I believe a lot of things are going to come out of it in terms of Ghana-Singapore relations. So, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellencies, honorable ministers, businessmen, I'm honored to address you on this last day of my state visit to Singapore. Singapore is a beacon of excellence in transforming strategic infrastructure into national competitiveness. Ghana views Singapore as a partner whose discipline, innovation, and long-term thinking aligns with our own aspirations. Today, I invite you to join us in a practical partnership to accelerate Ghana's infrastructure for economic transformation, and through Ghana to help shape the next chapter of growth across West Africa under the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement. And the question you ask is, why Ghana and why now? We're a regional hub, and Accra hosts the African Continental Free Trade Area Secretariat and is developing the logistics, standards, and digital infrastructure to serve a market of about 1.4 billion people with over USD 3.4 trillion gross domestic product. Therefore, using Ghana as a hub, you can efficiently and competitively reach an ECOWAS market of over 400 million people in a shorter time frame. We're pursuing a reform path with predictability. We're strengthening macro stability and fiscal discipline. We're modernizing our revenue systems and applying clear rules-based frameworks for public-private partnerships and private capital. We've amended our public procurement law and streamlined approvals under the Ghana Investment Promotion Center Act to provide fast and transparent pathways for investment. Under my leadership, Ghana will be a trusted, open, and reliable investment partner. To give effect to this vision, I've directed the Attorney General and the Minister of Finance to lay before Parliament two landmark bills: the revised GIPC bill and the legal framework establishing the 24-hour Economy Authority. In the revised act, we have included the most favored nation status, and I'm sure Singapore will qualify for MFN. The most favored nation treatment, fair and equitable treatment, and investment facilitation to make Ghana one of the most business-friendly destinations on the continent. These reforms are not just legal instruments, they are a statement of our commitment to building a dynamic, inclusive, and globally competitive economy. Ghana is a pro-enterprise state under my administration, and we're simplifying permits, we're digitizing our customs, we're de-risking bankable projects through viability gap funding, government support, and mega-backed guarantees, while ensuring the repatriation of profits and foreign exchange convertibility. Ghana boasts a young and skilled workforce. Our investment in TVET, STEM, and digital skills are tailored to industry's needs, from advanced manufacturing and agri-tech to power systems and data centers. Automotive and e-mobile assembly, sorry, just a minute. Our proposition to you today is clear. Ghana offers market access, a stable and reform-oriented environment, and a pipeline of bankable projects in manufacturing, agribusiness, and infrastructure, ready for investment with defined risk mitigation and credible partners. So what are the priority sectors and the bankable opportunities? The first is under manufacturing and industrial platforms. We have the Greater Accra Industrial Platform expansion, utilities and last-mile infrastructure to scale export-focused industrial parks at Tema and the Dawa industrial area. The second is opportunity for a utilities services concession to build, own, operate warehousing and anchor manufacturing, pharma, packaging, and consumer goods. Incentives include benefits from free zones and accelerated capital allowances. The third is Ghana Pharma and Medical Supplies Initiative. There is a sterile fill finish and generics manufacturing cluster in Tema, which is co-located with cold chain logistics and supported by the Food and Drug Authority's strengthened regulatory framework. The fourth is the automotive and e-mobility assembly, expansion of local assembly and components, manufacturing for buses, light commercial vehicles with a green mobility focus. Opportunities for smart fleet management, charging infrastructure and fare systems, integration, leveraging Singaporean mobility tech expertise. The next is under agribusiness and value addition. We have the Northern Ghana Irrigated Agro-Industrial Zone, which is a nucleus outgrower PPP across 20,000 hectares of land for rice, maize, and soya production, powered by solar pumping and precision irrigation. Components include on-farm infrastructure, storage and milling with a guaranteed offtake, blended finance available through Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund, Afro-Exim Bank, with a built climate smart practice. The second is cashew and tree crops processing clusters, expansion of cashew share and cocoa value addition in Bono and Ashanti regions, deshelling butter, liquor, and other specialty products. Strategic partnerships with established traders and processors combined with access to AFCTFA rules of origin open up opportunities to tap into regional demand. The third is perishable cold chains and cargo hubs in Tamale, Kumasi, Accra, temperature-controlled logistics packhouses, and perishable cargo village linked to airport upgrades, an ideal play for Singaporean logistics operators and Changi-linked expertise. Then under core infrastructure and enablers, we have the Accra Urban Mobility, BRT and E-Bus PPPs, which is about a $150 to $180 million investment. Dedicated corridors, 200 e-buses, depots, and smart ticketing. Performance-based PPPs with availability payments and carbon credits upside. The second is power distribution efficiency and smart metering, a resource-based concession to cut technical and commercial losses of our state's utility, electricity utility. Roll out advanced metering infrastructure and strengthen feeders, backed by a tariff adjustment mechanism and partial risk guarantees. The next is renewable energy plus storage, 200 megawatts solar with battery storage in the northern part of the country to stabilize the grid and serve industrial loads. Bankable IPP structure with GIF, co-investment, and standard PPAs. The next is the Takoradi Port expansion and inland logistics, dry bulk and container enhancements, plus inland container depots and rail-linked logistics. There's scope for PSA-style ports, inland integration to reduce time and cost of transporting goods across the ECOWAS corridor. The fifth is prospects for partnership in shipbuilding and dry docking services at the Tema shipyard. And I was intrigued when she mentioned that she was in Ghana in 2013 to 2015 working on exactly this project. Well, the project is up and available again for partnership. The sixth is the Kotoka Cargo Village, PPP, which is a modern cargo terminal with farmer-grade cold chains and e-freight systems to position Accra as West Africa's preferred air cargo gateway. It includes a partnership to establish a new national airline. The seventh is Tier 3 and 4 data center near Accra, a 15 to 20 megawatt carrier neutral facility to anchor cloud, fintech, and enterprise demand opportunities for KEPAL data centers, SDT type partners with renewable PPAs and heat management efficiencies. The eighth is urban and wastewater PPPs, modular energy efficient plants for Accra and other secondary cities with viability gap funding and improving operation and maintenance performance standards. The ninth is development of a modern multi-use international convention center with hotel facilities as part of Ghana's new meeting, incentives, conference, exhibitions, MICE, and accelerated creative arts agenda. And then in mining, value can be added to critical minerals such as gold, lithium, manganese, and bauxite. And this includes the establishment of an integrated bauxite and aluminium industry in Ghana. Now, with financing, de-risking, and policy assurances, we're offering a predictable PPP framework, including competitive tenders or direct negotiations where justified, transparent approvals, standardized contracts, and step-in rights. Investment protection with robust legal recourse, arbitration options, and commitment to honoring contracts underpinned by our Resetting Ghana agenda. Additional guarantees against expropriation are contained in our laws. There are no restrictions on capital and profit repatriation in Ghana. For hard currency projects with export or hard currency linked revenues, dedicated escrows and liquidity support can be structured on a case-by-case basis. Free zones incentives are available for exporters, including accelerated depreciation, customs facilitation, and targeted VAT and duty exemptions on capital equipment. And then again, practical local content roadmaps focused on skills transfer and supplier development instead of red tape. So what are we asking for today from the Singaporean business community? Expressions of interest. You can submit your expressions of interest for the project pipelines we're presenting to our teams who have set up a deal room with a secure virtual data room. Simon and his team have set up a deal room, and so after this, any persons that are interested can go and have a discussion, an initial discussion in the build-up to investing in Ghana. You're going to leave today with direct points of contacts, access to data, and agreed upon next steps. The second is co-creation of solutions. We propose structuring ideas that lower life cycle costs and enhance bankability of projects. We are open to various payment models, including availability-based and blended finance, as well as outcome-based contracts. The next is partnership in capability. Bring your operating systems, your training programs, and your technology transfer. Ghana will match that commitment with predictable policy and expedited facilitation. An immediate and dedicated Ghana-Singapore deal team that will be co-led by Simon, the CEO of GIPC, and a designated senior executive from Enterprise Singapore would lead this process. Members of this team will include the Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund, the Public-Private Partnership Unit at the Ministry of Finance, key MDAs, and the Ghana High Commission in Singapore. The key performance indicators for the team is to deliver at least $100 million in new investment pipeline commitments within the next 12 months. And coming from my meeting with Olam have already committed $200 million over the next 4 years. And so I'm asking Simon and his team and SBF and our partners here to give us a 100-day action plan. Within 14 days, the GIPC, its implementing agencies will share project data packs, draft term sheets, and available de-risking instruments for shortlisted investors who will enter the deal room. Within 45 days from today, we'll arrange technical workshops on power, logistics, and industrial platforms, as well as an introduction of off-takers, regulators, and local financiers. And within the next 100 days, site visits will take place in Ghana, and initial expressions of interest will be converted into non-binding term sheets. A high-level Ghana-Singapore business mission will be held in Accra with a visit to key project sites within the next 12 months, 1 year. This will include a focused deal summit hosted by GIPC and Enterprise Singapore to finalize MOUs and close priority transactions. I've also directed the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Ministry of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, and the GIPC to facilitate a one-stop investor facilitation desk at the High Commission to handle permits and regulatory clarifications. This will fast-track approvals for projects incubated through this dialogue. It was a roundtable, it's now a dialogue. Our agenda is centered on growth, inclusion, and sustainability. Each industrial platform and infrastructure project is designed with local content development and technical training to create jobs, especially for young people and women. We're aligning with a just energy transition, expanding renewables and efficiency while ensuring reliable base load power for industry. Urban mobility, water and waste treatment solutions will be low carbon and resilient. And in all these, we will nurture Ghanaian suppliers, especially our young, innovative, and digitally inclined youth to plug into your value chains, raising quality and competitiveness. Singapore has demonstrated to the world what ambition, clarity, and execution can accomplish in a single generation. Ghana stands at a similar point of inflection, and we're determined to convert infrastructure into productivity, logistics into market share, and investment into jobs and shared prosperity. Accelerating Ghana's infrastructure is not only possible, it is bankable, it is investable, and it is urgent. I therefore invite you to co-create this chapter with us. Let us begin today with concrete commitments and meet again in Accra within 1 year to celebrate the deals that we have developed together from this dialogue. And so I thank you very much for attending, and God bless Ghana-Singapore relations.